Not too many car motors you can do that. I say it's just a neat little motorcycle motor put in a car. I feel like I blend both best worlds together. Because the old Henderson and the old Indian, the Excelsior Hendersons and stuff, and Indian 4 was always just fascinated with it. This is my modern version. That's a stock throttle body right off the old Geo. The whole fuel injection is bone stock except for the intake. I wanted my carburetor lay sideways like the old Mike engines and stuff, set up and down right. So that old fuel injection works either direction. It don't matter which way it's laying.
And where's the fuel injection?
This would be your throttle body fuel injection right here. Regular TPI fuel injection system. Just going into a plenum intake. Yeah. Regular old ECM. Jeez, pretty much 100% General Motors design right on it, all tucked away.
So what kind of components? Describe the components of the entire bike.
Okay. Well, basically we started out with a Geo motor, out of a little Chevy Geo Metro, 1 liter, 1000 cc's. Then we got the Moto Guzzi transmission, out of a 72 Guzzi, and basically the rear section of the bike from here back is 72 Moto Guzzi, so the rear end up to the transmission is all Moto Guzzi. Then I built the whole rest of the frame from scratch, except for the neck and pose. The trees are Guzzi, front end's off a Harley Super Glide. I had a custom built radiator for it. Then the fuel tank started out as soft-tail fuel tanks, and then I customized to fit it. Crash bars off a Harley dresser that I kind of remodified out of some wreck ones. The seats off the Harley dresser. Actually, I started with the seat first, and then I built the frame to fit the seat, so I can have that nice touring bike fit. And the saddlebags are off a Road King, Harley Road King, and fit right in there.
When you first got the bike, what was it?
1972 Moto Guzzi.
What'd you do with the motor?
I still got the engine, and I ended up with 2 transmissions and 2 engines with a chassis, rolling chassis with this one. So I just set the engines aside for some other project down the road and built it and titled the Geo motor and right in with the Moto Guzzi chassis. So the numbers on the motor match right with the Moto Guzzi and stuff when I titled her all. So it should be titled as a regular 72 Guzzi Eldorado. Stretch it over 6 inches longer than the stock chassis and 2 inches taller to get the motor fit up in there. The motor, I had to build my own oil pan for it, my own intake, and then we're in the process of building a new exhaust for it now, because the motor would originally leaned at an angle in the car. I wanted to stand straight up and down, so that's why I had to build an oil pan for it. And then I also built it so it can handle curves and turns and fast stops and fast takeoffs. So I got my built-in splash pan to hold the oil right in place all the time. So, on that.
So you did a lot of research to get that fuel injection to work out, I remember.
I spent a whole year actually putting it in there. I got the stock General Motors manual and did a lot of reading and studying. And then I took a whole summer and actually took a wiring harness that was almost about double the size of this bike, and I cut her down to fit in this little box right in here. ECM. With the computer and everything there. So basically I took a wiring harness and I shrunk her down to about this size. Just a few basic wires. And that takes a little thinking, so you don't cut the wrong wires and throw them away accidentally. Yeah. And then I took a fuel pump, an aftermarket fuel pump underneath the transmission. So the fuel tanks, stock Harley fuel tanks, where regular old fuel petcock fits the place, but it's got a comes out and a return line, just like the cars do, because you got to have a return system on this one. Filter all in the same petcock, which is kind of neat, because then I can put another Harley tank on here and it'll screw right in. And that, so. Otherwise, the fuel injection system is actually bone stock Chevy Geo. It's just shrunken and laid on its side.
Have you checked your economy?
I run 40-45 miles a gallon consistently. Yep.
What does the car get if it's in a...
The car will actually run 45 to 50 miles a gallon consistently. There's more aerodynamics in the car. The bike, you got a little more wind drag with your saddlebags. Windshield more straight up and down, so you actually get... It's lighter, so it's quicker, you know, performance-wise, but for wind drag, the car is way better aerodynamics. And that. And then I don't know, maybe you ride the bikes a little more aggressive too. That probably don't help either. But it's a fun cruiser. It really is. I built it to be comfortable for two. That was the main goal behind it. Yeah. Oh yeah, another feature too. I actually incorporated minute rubber mounting, so the whole motor is kind of isolated, so it ain't no metal on metal. Everything's got a little bit of dampening here and there, so you don't eliminates all your harsh vibrations. Though that runs really smooth, don't need it, but it just adds life to it. The chassis and everything. The Japanese started doing that way back in the 80s, so I just kind of followed some of their ideas.